Prokaryotic DNA replication. In DNA replication, in prokaryotes, there are three steps: initiation of replication, elongation, and termination. We are going to discuss about the initiation event because this step is the step where actually replication is controlled. Every DNA molecule replicates only once in its life cycle, in the life cycle of the cell. So, cell goes for DNA replication only once in its life cycle. This is controlled somewhere, and that control is found in initiation event of the DNA replication. In case of prokaryotes, you can see over here that this is the bacterial DNA molecule, which is actually covalently closed circular DNA molecule. It is also called as cccDNA molecule. So, this is a single DNA molecule which is present in the bacterial cell, free in the cytoplasm. There is no nucleus, and that is the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. As well as prokaryotes also possess some extra chromosomal DNA molecules which are called as plasmids. Plasmids are extra chromosomal. They provide additional characters, or they offer additional characters to the cell, and these are hence they are called as extra chromosomal, whereas very prime characters of the cell, they are coded on its own chromosome, and that is chromosomal DNA. Bacterial chromosome, it is covalently closed circular DNA molecule, and when it goes for a replication starts at maturity of the cell, not before that. Again, there is some control which actually starts initiation of replication at maturity of the cell, and it has been found that actually there is one protein which controls this mechanism, and the protein is called as initiator protein. The protein is actually initiator protein. This is called as initiator protein A, and it is actually product of DNA A gene. This gene, when expressed, this protein is produced. However, expression of this DNA gene is at a reduced level. It is not fast, it is very reduced level. Constitutive expression is there. And when that particular concentration of DNA A protein, it attains certain level, then this certain concentration or level of certain concentration, it is actually effective in binding with a region on bacterial chromosomal DNA, and there actually starts initiation. This region where initiation starts, it is called as origin of replication. This is it. This is origin of replication on bacterial chromosomal DNA. This is origin of replication on plasmid DNA molecule. So this origin of replication is the region where replication event starts. This is also called as a replicator region, and it is the region where replication initiator protein, it binds. This origin of replication, it has about 245 base pairs in case of E. coli, and in E. coli it is called as ORI-C. This, if we consider the structure of this particular region, origin of replication, over here you can say it, this is the magnified region. So there are 13 base pairs repeats and 9 base pair repeats amongst 245 base pairs that are present in the origin of replication. So these 13 base pair repeats, these are same type of sequences, and 13 base pairs, same type of sequences. However, some minor changes are there, though not exactly same. These repeats, they have significant role in binding with protein A. Actually, these 13 base pair repeats and 9 base pair repeats, they are AT rich regions, and you know that AT rich regions are better for separation because of two hydrogen bonds present between AT instead of 3 in GC case. These can be revealed more effectively with this diagram. Here you can see that this is protein A, which at certain concentration binds to this 9-mer regions. There are these 4 9-mer regions. When this protein A binds to these 9-mer regions, at the same time, it also binds or tries to bind with 13-mer regions. It has affinity for 13-mer region. So, as a result of this, there is a stress or strain produced on the DNA strand in the 13-mer region, because of which there is local unwinding and DNA molecule separates at this site because of breaking of hydrogen bonds. So there is breaking of hydrogen bonds over here, and there is local unwinding that is found on the DNA, where actually initiation starts. So once these single stranded regions they are available, then to these single stranded regions, this helicase enzyme it binds. Helicase comes in role over here. Helicases, these are the enzymes which destabilize helix. They separate two strands of DNA. Once they bind to this single stranded region, they go on destabilizing the helix. So they bind to this single stranded. However, this binding or actually it is loading of helicase on the DNA molecule with the help of separate loader protein. It has been shown over here. So helicases are DNA C proteins and loaders are DNA B proteins. So loader they load protein helicase on the single strand. Two molecules of helicase are involving over here initially, and one binds to one strand, another binds to another strand. Both of them they go in opposite direction. They start their process of unwinding in opposite direction. Now you can see that if unwinding takes place, this site or this region is extended and more single stranded region is available. To stabilize this single stranded region, again single strand binding proteins come and bind to that region. These are called as single strand binding proteins, SSB proteins. So these SSB proteins they come in role. There is something which I have already drawn over here and which I want to remove for your better understanding. We'll add these things later on at the time of this teaching. So what I was telling, this single stranded binding proteins bind to these single stranded regions. They stabilize single stranded regions, and now there is necessity to start the synthesis. So this start the synthesis of what? Synthesis of DNA. However, DNA synthesis is the role of DNA polymerases, and limitation to DNA polymerase is that DNA polymerase cannot initiate DNA synthesis on their own. They require free 3' end or 3' OH end, and then they can extend synthesis. So to provide DNA polymerase 3 with 3' OH end, actually next role is played by enzyme primase. So this primase enzyme, it joins its duty over here where there is helicase present, and then it starts to produce a primer. So a primer is produced which is actually RNA molecule. So RNA molecules are produced. These RNA molecules, or let us show over here, these are the tails of RNA or RNA molecules synthesized over here. So once RNA molecule is synthesized, suppose that this is RNA molecule, whatever two, three, these nucleotides I am showing over here, this is the 3 dash end and this is the final 3 dash end available over here. Here is nitrogenous base, whatever it is, NB, and there will be um, linking between this phosphate linking, phosphodiester bond will be there. So here is free 3 dash OH end, to which next nucleotide will be added. If this is RNA primer, then there will be addition of DNA nucleotide with the help of DNA polymerase, because now, because of RNA primer, OH end is available and DNA polymerase 3, it can provide or it can add next deoxyribonucleotide to this 3 dash end and it will be extended. Now there will be charge taken by DNA polymerase 3 and it will extend synthesis. When primase enzyme actually starts its duty or comes at the site over here, you can see that there is this template strand, helicase enzyme, this primase enzyme and primer synthesize. All these things, it is single strand binding proteins are there, replication forks are there. These are the replication forks which you can see, sorry, so these are Y-shaped structures which are called as replication forks. Let me use a red colored pencil again, it is effective, color is effective. So this is Y structure, this is another Y structure, and these are the replication fork. So replication fork, template strand, helicase enzyme, primase enzyme, RNA primer, the whole thing is called as primosome. Single stranded binding proteins, the whole thing is called as primosome. And there occurs initiation of the synthesis. DNA polymerase 3 starts synthesis and then the process goes in continuation. The process is called as elongation, which we will discuss in our next lecture. So up to this, we can conclude, we can summarize it as on each DNA molecule, there is a region, particular region called as origin of replication. This E. coli DNA, it is a replicon, single replicon. What is replicon? Replicon is a unit length of DNA on which individual act of replication can take place. So bacterial DNA or plasmids in bacteria, they are replicons. So in this bacterial DNA, there is single origin of replication. In case of eukaryotes, however, multiple origins of replication are there and multiple replicons are there. So in case of this prokaryote or a bacterial cell, in case of particularly E. coli, this origin of replication is of 245 base pairs. It possesses particular structure where 13 base pairs or 13 mer sequences and 9 mer sequences are present. There are 4 repeats of 9 mers and 3 repeats of 13 mers. Protein A is initiator protein which is continuously synthesized in the cell. When it reaches certain concentration at the maturity of the cell, this protein A binds to 9 mer regions. It has also affinity for 13 mer region, so it tries to bind with 13 mer region. A stress is produced, there is local unwinding, breaking of hydrogen bonds, local separation of DNA strands, and once they are separated, helicase takes the charge. Unwinding goes on, single stranded binding proteins bind and maintain DNA in single stranded condition. This is replication bubble actually. And then once this single replication bubble is produced, template strand in single stranded form are available. Primase enzyme comes in role. it starts to synthesize RNA primer. It does not require any free 3-OH chain, so RNA primer is produced. Small regions of RNA molecules, RNAs are synthesized. Then, once 8 to 10 RNA nucleotides are added in the chain, RNA chain, free 3-OH end is available. DNA polymerase 3 comes in role and it extends the synthesis. So, this is how initiation of DNA replication, it actually controls the replication event so that replication occurs only once in the life cycle of the cell. So this is about initiation event and we will discuss about the elongation in the next video. Thank you.